Hi everyone. I and my group members will be talking about Coca Cola today as our MNE. Next slide, please. So the first thing we'll be talking about is the table of contents, which involves the introduction, how Coca Cola engage in globalization of its business, the models and frameworks that we've used, how internalization benefits beneficials for its growth, their challenges, both the past and present, the risk mitigations, and the conclusion. So in my group, we have Esther, we have Uzo, we have Shegun, and I, read one. So the first thing I'll be talking about is overview of Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola was found by a scientist, a pharmacist in Atlanta, Georgia, by John Pemberton in 1886, May 8, 1886. Their mission is to create refreshments, to create moments of optimism and happiness, to create values and make difference. Their vision: people, portfolio, productivity, profits, partner, and planet. Their main business sector, their sector, Coca-Cola is into beverage industry for their sector. Their business model: Coca-Cola use business to business models, which means they produce the serum and sell them to their bottlers, which eventually produce the serum to final goods, which they eventually sell them to the final consumers. Their product portfolio: diverse range of beverage, which means Coca-Cola produces different types of beverages, which includes soft drinks, juice, water, sport drinks, and so on. Their revenue stream: we got some figures through Statista. We 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 notice that Coca-Cola gets, or they sell their products, which is the serum, to their bottlers. Their main competitors in the beverage industry: some of the competitors which are after Coca-Cola are Pepsi and Dr. Pep. We got this information through Statista, which you can all see in this diagram. For their operation markets, Coca-Cola sell their products in North American, Latin American, Europe, Middle East, African, and Asia. These are the places where Coca-Cola sells their products. Their revenue from 2024, which was last year, we got to realize that Coca-Cola revenue was 4.46.9 billion dollars. While for their income, we realized that they got, or they realized $14.1 billion as their income last year, while their market share was was 47.1%. In the beverage industry, Coca-Cola has the highest market share, which follows by Pepsi and Dr. Peps. Looking at this diagram that we have, the above diagram shows the environment or geographical area where Coca-Cola sells their products, includes Asia, Africa, and so on. While the diagram below shows the type of various types of products Coca-Cola produce. They have Zero, Coke, Sprite, Fanta, and so on. I'll be handing over the next slide or aspect of this group to Uzo.
Hello everyone. I will start. I will start with the internationalization timeline. Coca-Cola started as a global corporation when Asakanla bought it in the 1880s. It then moved on and then had its first nationwide advertisement in the 1920s, which made it known as a national brand. More so, during the Second World War of 1945, the American president made a move to supply Coca-Cola drinks to all American soldiers, which caused a global awareness of the soft drink product. We then go on to the year 1970s, which shows his first major national worldwide advertisement, which was "I would like to buy the world a Coke." This helped in boosting his global brand awareness and availability. On now to the recent time, 2000s, they diversified in their products from more or less sugar carbonated drinks to low calorie drinks like Coke Zero. Next slide. In terms of their market entry mode, Coca-Cola uses both branding and cost leadership strategies. That is, they try to reduce the cost of Coca-Cola products so it's easily available to consumers. This graph above is showing their bottling investment geographic footprint. That is, they have partnership with bottlers all over the world that allows them to standardize their products and make it easily available. This model is their franchise bottling model. Next slide. Coca-Cola uses the Coca-Cola system as its mode of internationalization, which closely follows the Uppsala model as it expands to nearby markets before moving to foreign markets. They also adopt a strategy of standardization when it comes to their original products and adapts the strategy of adaptation when it comes to entering a new market and adapting the products to the local offering. In addition, the Uppsala model alongside the Coca-Cola system is formed through commitments through exporting, licensing, and bottling partnerships. This graph above is showing their bottling model as well as their global supply chain and distribution. Now onto the benefits. Coca-Cola is one of the most easily identifiable global brands in the world with a market share of over $49.3 billion. In addition, they have a loyal customer base that is loyal and is easily identifiable, and this is mostly led to their high advertisement campaign. Also, they have a locational advantage as through their bottling system, Coca-Cola products are easily available to consumers all over the world. Then I'll move on to the challenges for my next colleague.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Oluwasegun Abolori. I'll be talking on the challenges, past and existing challenges that Coca-Cola faced in during the course of their existence as a corporation. First and foremost is the allegation of human rights abuse and labor-related cases. A case study of Colombia, where there were violations of human rights with laying off of staff in hundreds of staff in 2003 without any incentives and benefits. And we also talk about the subcontracting of staff, which was highly kicked against. And secondly, of the past challenges, we talk of the risk of Coca-Cola formula change. Coca-Cola changes formula at a point in time without notifying the customers, and this led to a lot of customer dissatisfaction and a lot of there were protests, massive protests to that effect. And thirdly, the past challenges of Coca-Cola talks of the threat of health advocacy and sugar reduction. You know, there was a content of Coca-Cola cocaine in Coca-Cola formula, which was seen as having an adverse effect on the health of on health generally, and this became a threat to boycotting of consumption of Coca-Cola. And now moving to existing challenges. Number one, I'll talk of the decline in Coca-Cola consumption in certain countries such as Denmark, Mexico, and some parts of the United States due to foreign policies at this point in time. In Mexico, there's slowdown of consumption due to some partly attributed to geopolitical tensions. And secondly, in the existing challenges, you talk of the environmental and pollution target reversal of Coca-Cola. Due to this reversal of their target to reduce pollutions, they couldn't meet up, and this listed Coca-Cola as topmost corporation polluting the global world. And you can see that in the chart below, that Coca-Cola top the list of corporations that pollute, that engage in pollutions of the environment of the global world. And thirdly, the raw materials, tariff, and packaging cost challenges. This was one of the challenges Coca-Cola faced due to the hike in tariff. Trump had increased the tariff, placed a 25% tariff on importation of steel and aluminum, and Coca-Cola have to, it became a challenge, leading to high cost of production of bottling and the and packaging of the Coca-Cola product. And then last but not the least is the capricious U.S. tax treatment of Coca-Cola. U.S. have had a lot of challenges about their treatment, especially with the issue of tax in the past and in the present, having to lose a case in the court that was ruled against them, and having to pay a huge fine of about $726 million in the year 2022. It was a very serious proposal. And moving to the next slide, you'll see the percentage, the topping of Coca-Cola as a pollutant corporation, and also we'll see their percentage in Europe as it is given in that chart. So I will add over to my next colleague in the next slide.
Hello, everyone. My name is Esther, and I'm in charge of the risk mitigation strategies Coca-Cola adopted in the face of some of these challenges. Coca-Cola moved more of his products to plastic, which has de-emphasized the use of aluminum, putting more emphasis on plastic PET bottles instead of like aluminum cans. The second one is Coca-Cola used the 1996 Advanced Pricing Agreement with the IRS to define allocation of profits between the US and other foreign bodies. Coca-Cola settled a pricing audit with the IRS in 1969 to 1995, reaching an agreement on a profit split between both companies. The adoption of resilient and sustainable practices across its supply chain, agricultural practices for sourcing its raw materials. They adopted agricultural sustainable practices like sustainable packaging, human rights, water security, etc. Coca-Cola proactively appealed the tax treatment case, which is still undergoing review in the US tax court. They updated its tax reserve to accept for the possibility, to account for the possibility that it doesn't prevail in the appeal. Coca-Cola worked on improving products, example, Coca-Cola Zero, which were healthier options, and localized pricing strategies to go along with regulations. The localized pricing strategies to go along with the regulations of any country they were in at that point in time. Finally, the conclusion. Coca-Cola has the largest market share in the beverage sector because of its wide-ranging product portfolio. It uses an internalization system known as the Coca-Cola system. Coca-Cola faced a lot of challenges over the years, one of which was environmental and pollution target reversal. As a global company, most of its profits come from outside the US, and to adhere with tax regulations, it followed a 1996 advanced pricing agreement with the IRS. This helped the company manage its global earnings more smoothly, avoid major tax disputes, and continue expanding worldwide while playing by the rules. Finally, Coca-Cola uses branding, product differentiation, and cost leadership strategies to expand its products. We've come to the end of our presentation. Thank you.